Keisha, I appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you.
We're gonna be talking about some spooky stuff. You know, it's October is almost the end, and we got Halloween coming up.
Yep, my favorite holiday. I wish it was every year, every month.
You just like Halloween related things?
Yeah, pretty much I do.
Okay, okay. Where did that passion come from? It sounds like you're very passionate about it.
Ah, well, actually, I don't know. I just like really like scary stuff. I like Halloween, of course. It's just the fun part of dressing up, being whoever you want to be one night, out of the whole year where both, how would I put it, both worlds have a very thin veil of just being just whatever you want to be, and then you go back into your normal life. So um, there's a lot of history behind Halloween with the jack o' lantern, and then of course the black cats, and then witches and goblins and ghouls and whoa, spooky. But yeah, I always loved Halloween. I always have.
When
Um,
you were younger, did you dress up as much as you could during the holiday?
I actually did. We like my brother and I when we grew up, we didn't, I mean, we had a decent childhood. So we were kind of like low on money. Everybody get like the costume, they get this at Kmart or Walmart, whatever big costume that they have, and especially that was getting really big with Star Wars. A lot of the cartoons and characters at the time, like Scooby Doo, the real Busters, the cartoon, and then of course the movies started to come out, with it. And so the best place to actually just really get into being very extremely creative is Goodwill. And my mother, she was a big shopper for Goodwill. And so we begged her, like, can we have that costume? It cost about, it was like $14 or I don't know, like back in the 80s, like $5, something like that. She's like, no, that's too much. And she's like, hey, you make your own costumes. She's like, it's much cheaper and you put more creativity and passion and love in it. And so I started doing that. We went as zombies one time. My brother and I went trick or treating, and the last time I went trick or treating was when I was 18, and I was in the Kilgore College band, and so I just took my band jacket and threw some makeup on and said like I'm the ghost of the KC Ranger, tenor sax player, and I got candy. They liked it. Just imagination.
Is there a particular Halloween that you can recall that was more memorable than others? Or a costume that you remember that you made with your creativity that just stuck out?
Um, Back in 2006, I made a Cheshire cat. I did the ears. I went to Walmart and found a tail. I used a skirt that I usually wear. It was like a pencil skirt, so I added that tail to it, and then I went to Goodwill, and I got these little Mary Jane patent leather shoes. I spray painted them. I did the makeup. I had some socks. They were like, the toe socks that was like really in, but they're like gone now. Um, I cut those up and made like little hand thingies, little arm thingies. I had some more socks. They were stripy, just like the colors. Um, Shoot, that was it right there. And I had this little cute little crop top. And I went to Austin, down on 6th Street for Halloween. That was back in 2016. That was really 2016, 2015. It was a really fun time. Wasn't enjoyable because stuck in traffic for like 4 or 5 hours in between Waco to Austin because of the flash floods, but finally made it. But that was a really enjoyable Halloween experience right there. Just going to Austin on 6th Street and just seeing everybody's costume. that was really wonderful. And I like to see people like just really putting their, their creativity and, you know, just in Halloween because it's a fun time. It is. It's a fun time.
It is. You get to be all kinds of whatever. You know, you can be a zombie, you can be a Cheshire cat, you can dress up as a dragon. Nobody will even bat an eye. How do you feel is the? How do you? What do you think of the Halloween scene here in East Texas and Tyler? What are your opinions? What is your opinion, sir?
Dry. Dry as the Sahara Desert.
Do you feel that's because of the conservative aspect, or what do you think that is?
I think it is the conservative aspect of it because usually a lot of times Halloween or anything that's associated with it does have that negative. It's the devil's night. Yeah, I know, right? I know. It's the devil's night. I'm like, shoot, every night and every day the devil can come at any time. But I see that like a lot of times that people are very terrified of it because they don't understand um, what is about the history of it. Um, I know we don't have like witch hunts and stuff like that. We don't have. I know a couple of years back, there was like this rumor saying there's people that were like devil worshippers, and it was really really weird. I think that was like back in the early '90s, and so that put like a lot of damper on celebration of Halloween. So they have fall festival. I mean, those are fun too.
Right, pumpkin patch.
Pumpkin patch, stuff like that. But they just more like I don't want to associate all of this with the supernatural. But then again, you have a lot of things like a lot of homes and a lot of old history of how things were back then. So there's a lot of haunts around here. So,
Right.
But it's East Texas and it's ultra conservative and I mean it doesn't bother me. I mean it bothers them, but it doesn't bother me. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do.
You brought up a good point about the paranormal. It's funny. There's the Holy Spirit, and you have the Holy Ghost and what have you. But people are afraid of ghosts and ghouls when it's literally the same thing, just explained differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I grew up in Kojic. If anybody know what Kojic is, the Holy Ghost, got the tambourines and everything. So I grew up in that, in that and stuff. So I'm just like, what's the difference?
Right.
What's the difference?
I think it's a negative stigma that I think through things like this, they seeing people that looks like them, and speaking about it because there's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself, dressing up, and especially if you have kids or
oh yeah,
or even dressing up your little dog as
that is so cute.
Right. I dressed up. If I had a hedgehog, I would put a little hat on. I'm into hedgehogs right now. I don't know why. I just love little, they're so adorable. You know what I mean? But speaking of paranormal, have you ever been on an actual like a ghost hunt or ghost reading, anything like that?
No.
Yeah, are you too scary or would you?
No, no. I mean, I would go on one of them, but I'm not like, hell. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I've always had some type of experience with the paranormal, and I never understood it when I was a kid. I was just like, okay, why is this? Why is this move? Why I keep seeing shadows? Could it be like the light? Just playing with my eyes. Um, there have been some instances where my kids actually seen a ghost um, over my head. Just sitting there. This is a weird story, but my daughter was around 10 or 11, and I was asleep, and she was getting ready for school. So she walks into my room to let me know, like, hey, mom, I'm going to school, blah, blah. I was kind of like halfway asleep, but, I was like, I was like, hey, whatever, hey, bye, baby, love you. Well, when she walked in the room, she seen a dead girl over my head, and she was singing to me. And I didn't realize I thought I was dreaming, but it was the song that this little girl was singing to me. It was a very nice lullaby. I mean, she didn't bother me or nothing like that. And when my daughter seen that dead girl standing over my head singing to me, and she was actually comforting me and just watching me sleep, my daughter just backed out, and she just bolted out of the house and caught the bus. And when we were just randomly just talking. She's a little bit older when she was in high school, and she told me, she's like, Mom, there was a dead girl singing over you, over your head. And I said, that figures that, because I heard what she was singing and I thought I was dreaming. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So really, I don't see ghosts, but I actually hear them, or may see a shadow, but I kind of know I'm like, oh, there's somebody over there. If I'm looking at something a little bit off or whatever, to the distance, it's probably because I know something is there. Usually.
You're a firm believer in premonitions and maybe I wouldn't say effigies, but an effigy, but you acknowledge the fact that there's other energies around us that we can pick up on, but for the most part, especially around here, people may think that, you're whatever. What are your thoughts?
Definitely, there's energy everywhere. I mean, even in this room, whoever was in this room 20, maybe an hour, maybe 2 days ago, the energy is still in these walls. We all have energy. It doesn't matter. The trees, the grass, the water, anything that's living, it carries an energy.
Do you think that when you're speaking about your children, do you think when we're kids, or whether if it's nieces, nephews, siblings, when we're kids, that when we're innocent, we tend to see things that we lose as we get older?
Most of the times, because whenever you growing up and you started to get bombarded with a lot of responsibilities, and then you go adulting and life happens, we do tend to, we don't lose it, we just seem to just
We're
put it
not
somewhere.
connected.
Yeah, we're not connected. We have it, but we just put it in the back of our minds, or we just put it in a vault or a filing cabinet to say, and just lock and key with it and just go on about our business until something happens, and then it triggers that. So now you're accessing that file, or you're just now like, oh, let me go ahead and tap into that what I just seen, because you've seen that all when you're a child, in your childhood. And you may have like some influence, like, oh, that's nothing, or somebody might say, oh, you're crazy, or you don't, I don't believe you. And that's the reason why a lot of children or young adults, they tend to try to bury that, deep
Suppress
inside.
it.
Yeah, they pretty much do. They suppress it. Yeah, they bury it and suppress it all the time.
I think, well, no, I know I've had my experiences with different energy forms in my life, and I look back on it, and then you don't really know what it is until you become educated in it, and then you realize what it was,
Right.
or what it is, quote unquote. My father passed away when I was a kid, and I had always thought of like trying to. I'm not afraid to admit to, and a lot of people are, to try to contact, have a not a clairvoyant, a medium.
Yeah.
I was a kid. I messed around with a Ouija board and all that good stuff. And I don't know. I had a very eclectic upbringing because I had friends of all walks of life, and one group of friends wouldn't do what this other group of friends would do. So I get it. Now, going forward, do you think that if you educate the masses with social media, or if it becomes trendy, you think people will be more accepting of it?
Yes and no.
Explain.
Um, right now we have this trend of people saying, "I am woke. My third eye is woke. I'm empathic." All of that, and yeah, you can see, yeah, you can see me doing this right here. Um,
People just want to fit in with
they pretty much
yeah.
do. They just want to fit in with everything that's going on in social media.
Right.
I'm just gonna say it like this: when you're an empath, or you have empathic or highly sensitive to different things, you just don't broadcast it.
Right.
Because of ridicule. A lot of times that when people say that they are, or the real ones, you could tell when our energies are, I'm one too, our energies are depleted by different people's stuff. And we can read a room too, but I noticed that when a lot of times when people open up about something and it's becoming a trend, it usually gets trashed, or um, it's just, it doesn't get the respect. It doesn't get
Attention.
the attention of actually people using logic with it. And there's nothing wrong with skepticism. I'm skeptical myself too with a lot of things.
I think we're all like this.
Oh, everybody is. But there's gonna be people that are gonna be using that to scam people. My daughter just sent me a screenshot of this lady who tried with that crap, and she blocked and deleted her, and she showed me. And I said, "Girl, that ain't nothing but a damn scammer right there." I said, "She is using the whole empathic bull, trying to steal things of what we do, or how we help people, or how we heal people." I said, "You don't gaslight people like that." I said, "You're going to have people that's going to be doing that. They're going to use that because of this trend." But I like for people to understand that when you have somebody that's coming into your DMs or whatever, saying this jack bull crap of stuff, that you need to block and delete them. Okay, you, the person, needs to come to them. Okay, not them come to you and not sell you a bunch of BS, because a lot of times those people are scammers, and that's what it did. It just opened up the floodgates for scammers to use that. So I like for people to be more informational and do their research. That's it.
That's interesting, because it's people try to profit off of other people's pain, especially.
Exactly.
When I tried to, I had thought about it, and I just came to the realization that I think in my own way I found peace just trying to find an answer, because there's a lot of questions that I still don't know about my father's death. So it's just, I don't want to say emotional, I was just confused because I didn't know as I got older. And I think you have a lot of people that are tarot card readers and are whatever, that they can help you, and I've seen it time and time again. And I kind of just laugh, and I understand, everybody needs to make money, but I don't know. It's just one of those things that it shouldn't, I wouldn't say it should become monetized. It's just, there's things that you should just leave alone. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. But yeah, there's true tarot readers, but then there's some that are just scammers, just making a profit, basically.
Right. They don't care. You're just a means to an end, to a little degree.
And usually it's for entertainment purposes. It's not to be taken like super seriously. Right. And there's people that are looking for answers like that. And I would say to this, just you need to go to counseling or go to group therapy or something like that before you start seeking out tarot readers and things like that to solve inner problems with yourself. There's psychiatrists and counselors for that. Professional help
Right.
for that.
That.
I'm just, hey, I'm just stating facts, bro. Hey everybody, this is Keeshia Lacy with the Random Horror Show. Like, share, and subscribe to Oro Nation. Hey, this is Keeshia Lacy with the Random Horror Show. You can find me on Anchor FM, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Like, share, and subscribe to the Texas Horror Babe or my Facebook page, The Random Horror Show. Thanks.